What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse ranch, no hate. So check this out, y'all. Riley Romero, he's basically doing a video. He's not being interviewed. He's doing a video, and he got some guys in the gym with him, and they're talking back and forth. And he says some things that Riley Romero is like quickly becoming the most annoying guy to listen to in boxing. Riley Romero said that Cambosis is just going to give his belts away the next person he fight. He basically, said Cambosis is not that good. You know, he ended up saying in this video that belts don't mean nothing in boxing no more. In this day and age, belts don't mean nothing. He said, but it's all about popularity, being a star, and all that type of stuff. And somebody in the room with him was like, yeah, Instagram and all that, and he's like, yeah, like it's not about belts. Belts don't mean nothing anymore. Someone asked him, why don't he fight Isaac Cruz? And he says, why would I fight Cruz when I'm the mandatory? Okay, so what I'm saying is, well, look at how contradicting that is. And that just makes zero sense. Why would you fight Isaac Cruz when you're the mandatory to fight Tank Davis? Okay, but you just said belts don't mean anything. So if it was to fight Isaac Cruz, well, for one, you called him a C-level fighter. Ryan Garcia called him a C-level fighter. You basically stood there and just said that belts don't mean anything, right? Well, it's the thrill of competition. And if you're not in this to be the champion and make as much money as you can, then why are you in this sport then? So basically, you will go into a fight with no belts against a guy that has titles and feel like you're the A side because why? Why? Because you think so? I don't have belts, and I understand he's the champ, but belts don't mean nothing. I think I should get the lion's share of the money. You know it doesn't work like that. You know that's not the case. So I'm listening to him talk, and he's talking about being the mandatory. So in other words, if belts don't mean anything, that means you're perfectly fine if your fight with Tank Davis is not for the titles. You'll be perfectly fine with that, right? It's just, the belt's not on the line. You guys are just going to fight. Guarantee you he'd have a problem with it. And the funny thing is, he's doing all this talking. I just did a video, and like I mentioned this in a video about he's doing all this talking, but he's not jumping in the ring to fight anybody. But he's talking to all this training, I'm this, I'm that, and I'll do this and I'll do that. Then why did you walk away from the fucking fight? And to me, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think he is. My focus is not that. I don't want to be in a situation where because of the court case, I'm not focused. I just think in his mind, he knows he's not ready. That's what I personally feel. He knows he's not ready. Let me just stand back and let's see what happens. And basically, instead of him feeling, hey, I'm glad he won because I want my shot. They sound, in all honesty, he sounds more disappointed that Gervonta Tank Davis won the fight. Maybe he feel like Cruz is an easier fight than Davis. However, bottom line is, it makes me laugh to see a fighter walk away from a fight just to turn around and try to make it seem like he was screwed up the fight. He's talking as if like something just didn't go your way based on your opponent not wanting to fight you. You're the one who decided to walk away from that. So all of the talking that's going on and saying belts don't mean anything. Oh, they got too many belts in it. Yeah, I agree. There's all these belts that don't mean. I agree with that. They have way too many goddamn belts. All these sanctioning fees, and these guys are just lining their pockets up. I get that. But to say that the belts don't mean anything and that pretty much it's all about being popular. Well, okay then. Then you shouldn't worry about a title fight then. What you should do, like I said in the last video, is go back and give Jackson Martinez his rematch. You said Devin Haney was emailed the belt. You said that Devin Haney never won anything, right? And you said he really lost the fight in Mexico. You really lost the fight against Jackson Martinez. How about that? And this is not to defend Devin Haney. This is just the reality that here you are. It's like a piece of shit laying on the street, and a pile of vomit laying on the fucking street. They're both disgusting, right? Imagine somebody saying, which one would you rather step in? Neither. Simple, neither. So if Devin Haney looked like shit and Devin Haney really got his ass whipped and he's a fake champion, you know, my thing is, you guys are in no hurry to get in there and beat these guys and take their titles and shut them up. All it is I'm this. And as far as you saying it's all about popularity and people being on social media with all it, well, you talking about yourself. Because every time I turn around, that's where you are. And that's where you do the most fighting, is on social media, telling everybody what you're going to do to everybody and what you will do. And it's funny because when Teofimo Lopez had the belts, you praised him and gave him all the praise in the world for having all those titles. Now, all of a sudden, the belts don't mean anything. And it's funny because, you know what? Kambosos didn't get his belts the way Devin Haney got them. Kambosos went in there and beat your boy's ass. That's what happened. So to turn around and say he's going to lose them, hand his belts over to the very next person he fight, that may happen, may not. But you're not making any effort to get in the ring. You're still training. So I just thought that was like one of the stupidest things that I heard. And I'm like, nah, let me talk about this for a minute. Because this guy's just saying things that make no sense. Contradiction after contradiction after contradiction is what a lot of these fighters are doing. And they're not even paying attention to what comes out of their mouth. So the next time you jump on social media and want to do a live stream or whatever the hell it is you're doing, or Instagram live or Facebook live, whatever you're doing, understand before you open your mouth and start talking that everybody that's listening is not a fanboy or a fangirl. And there's people that's going to call you out and say, Ryan, Raleigh, what are you talking about? You just said XYZ. Now you're saying this and this and that. So which one is it? And then when somebody question you, oh man, they just hating. No. Grow up. It's not about hating. It's just a simple fact that here you are, a grown man, and as a fighter, you're not realizing, like, people are just quoting you. Like when people say you ducking Jackson Martinez, I ain't ducking that motherfucker, I beat him. No, motherfucker, that's the whole thing. None of us feel like you won that fight, but you're telling yourself and telling people that you won. That's why you sat there at the press conference. I fight that motherfucker again. We run it back. I don't give a fuck. Oh, I'm running back. So why didn't you? Why didn't you? We're still waiting for that fight. Well, not me personally, because I don't care. But I'm just giving the boxing news. In all honesty, yeah, I think you should run it back with him. You say you won. Well, Devin Haney can say he won. Devin Haney says he won that fight in Mexico, right? You say he lost. When your boy Teofimo had the belts, it meant everything. Now that he got beat, belts don't mean anything. So all this contradiction, it just doesn't mean, it doesn't do any good for you guys. So as fighters, you guys keep jumping on. Who the fuck jumps on live more than Ryan Garcia and fucking Rolly Romero? Who? Every fucking time you turn around, the two of them are on some fucking video running their mouth about what they would do to somebody. And again, you don't hear their fanboys putting pressure on them. So anybody who does question and challenge you because you're saying one thing and doing something else, they're a hater. And I'm not talking about people being disrespectful to you, calling you a bitch and all. No, I'm talking about somebody who simply says, Raleigh, why are you saying Devin Haney was handed a title and he's never fought nobody? Right? And that he lost a fight in Mexico. We feel like you lost to Jackson Martinez and you, out of your mouth, said you would fight him again. We run it back. You said that. And it never happened. So why when we bring it up, you get an attitude like we saying something wrong because you said you would. Simple. Look, y'all. They need to make a belt. They just need to make a belt and just call it bullshit and let certain fighters just fight for that. No, you guys don't actually have to fight. All you got to do is just keep jumping on social media and just do what you do. Talk bullshit. And we're going to crown one of you guys the new bullshit champion. Now, if Mauricio Suleiman's involved, y'all have to pay a sanctioning fee for that shit. All right? That bullshit title, you're going to have to pay a sanctioning fee. But they need to give you guys a bullshit title because that's what y'all are great at. You're great. You might be decent or good in the ring, but you guys are great at talking bullshit. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.